Hey guys, today we're talking about protein. We're going to go over some of the recommendations and then some of the benefits of it so that you know why and how much to have for you. So some of the benefits to start out with. It's literally involved in almost all of the functions and processes in the body. I can't name one that it's not involved in. One of those is the immune system. So we really want to make sure that we're getting in enough proteins so that you can fight off viruses, infections, disease processes. Protein plays a major role in that. It's also got a high TEF. What that means is a high thermic effect of food. All that's saying is that for the amount of protein you take in, those calories, up to 30% of that gets burned in the digestion process. So you could take in, 100 calories from protein and 30 of those are being burned off already. So we like to say it's almost like not a free food, but it's kind of nice if you take in a higher amount of protein, you can actually almost increase your calories a little bit more. In a calorie deficit, you'll maintain lean muscle mass better with a higher protein diet. So what we're saying with that is if you are someone who is trying to focus on weight loss or fat loss and you want to maintain your lean muscle mass, right? Because that's most people's goal is when you're trying to decrease weight, you want to still have that lean and athletic look. Well, you want to be losing fat, not protein. So studies have shown that by having a higher protein intake, you will actually be able to maintain more lean muscle even when you're in a deeper calorie deficit. So something really important to keep in mind. Also, it's very satiating. So it's probably pretty hard for someone to eat 2 or 3 chicken breasts, whereas if you were eating like high carbohydrate or high fat items like donuts, it would be a little easier to eat. Protein, on the other hand, when you eat that, you're gonna be pretty full, right? After even, 3, 4, 5 ounces of protein, it's hard to keep taking in a lot more food. That can also be really helpful if you are in a fat loss phase and you're in a lower calorie intake. You wanna take in that protein first, and then that will help fill you up for the meal. Also, of course, one of the other processes and functions it's involved in is muscle repair and recovery. So if you're someone who is really active, working out, lifting weights, you want to be repairing and recovering. So you've got to get your protein in. Recommendations for that. So if you are someone who is active, participates in some type of weightlifting, metabolic conditioning, we recommend 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, you could go up to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight if you are in a caloric deficit and in a fat loss phase. The reason for that is, we'll go right back down here, you're gonna maintain more lean muscle with higher protein. Also, it's gonna be more satiating. So those are some reasons to maybe go a little bit above that recommendation. Also keep in mind that if you are someone who is a little bit less lean and carries more body fat, then you'll want to go more with the 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, okay? If you're someone that's a little more lean, you could actually go with maybe a little bit more, right? A little more towards that body mass. Next thing, muscle protein synthesis. So this is kind of where I start making recommendations for how much protein to have at a meal or how much protein to have at a feeding time. People always want to know that. Well, muscle protein synthesis is basically what stimulates the muscles to be repaired and recover, right? To be rebuilding those muscles that you've torn down through a workout. You see, weightlifting, cardiovascular workouts, metcons, these are actually catabolic in nature, meaning it breaks down the muscle tissue. And weightlifting with the correct stimulus will actually create small little micro tears. Well, the way to build muscle is muscle protein synthesis, right? We need to make sure that we're giving the body the correct amount of amino acids, mainly the leucine content, in the correct amount of time to repair and recover so we can build that muscle. So studies have shown that we want 25 to 40 grams in a feeding or a bolus to help stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So that's something to take a look at. Last but not least, again, try to make sure you're having protein at each meal, especially, you know, in the meals post-workout. You don't have to get something in within the first 30 minutes after a workout, but we do want to make sure that we are helping to repair and recover. Also, get a lot of questions on protein powder. Do I need to have it? Is it magical? Nothing magical about protein powder. Now, whey protein does contain, you know, some helpful nutrients, right? It can help if you're someone that has a hard time hitting your recommended amount of protein. It can also help with the muscle protein synthesis. Whey protein has a full amino acid profile, the essential amino acids. So, you know, this is just something, if you need to substitute or supplement, that's what it should be used for. Of course, I'd always like to see whole food sources being used, but if you're someone that struggles to get your protein in or needs something quick and in a hurry, you can supplement with a protein powder.